York, big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams.
What's going on? This is Jay Ellis from the Knick Of Time show, here giving you that Knicks talk just in the nick of time. And it's time to talk about the Knicks versus Celtics opener. The Knicks lose to the Celtics, first game of the season, 109 to 132. And the Celtics just put on a masterclass on how to shoot threes and almost broke an NBA record. Jalen Brunson gave you 22 points and 2 assists. McBride gives you 22 points and 2 assists. Mikal Bridges gives you 16 points. KAT gives you 12. Hart gives you 12. And the Celtics give you 29 threes. And we're going to talk about it all. The good, the bad, and the ugly. It's a lot of ugly and it's a lot of bad. But you know what? It's the first game of the season. So I do not want to overreact. And I don't want you guys to overreact either. And we're going to get to it. Before we get to it, I'm going to introduce you to my guy. It is the Latin assassin, the guy who's been holding down the show Dolo for the last few days. My man, Lee Escobedo. What's going on, Lee?
Thank you, Jay Ellis, for trusting me to be able to host the KOT show. That was my first time. I hope I did you proud and did the chat justice. I had a lot of fun. Who knows, man? Maybe I'll get a chance to do it again. It was definitely a learning experience. I forgot some of the slogans to open. I forgot the slogan to end on the second stream, but at least I had a lot to say. People said I talked really fast and I never paused. I have a tendency to do that when I'm talking about things I love, and I love basketball. So we are here talking about game 1 out of 82, and I cannot wait to dive in.
Yeah, man. It's okay. You did a good job, man. Shout out to Lee. Shout out to Lee. You did a good job. I thought you had a lot of great things to say, a lot of great insights, which is why I have you on the show in the first place. And yeah, you did a really, really good job. I would say better than most doing it solo. Solo is probably the hardest thing to do for those who don't know, who's never done it themselves. It's probably one of the hardest things to do, having a conversation with yourself into a camera. And you pulled it off. So yeah, I have no complaints.
Thank you.
All right, appreciate you, let's get to it though. Knicks Celtics. I will start off by saying this. I'm not gonna lie. I expected to lose today. I expected to lose today for a few reasons. So for the guys who are heartbroken over this loss, I'm not really heartbroken over this loss. To me, this is more of a litmus test, if you will. We're a brand new team, just learning each other. The games that we played in preseason, most of those games were against the bottom feeders of the league. The biggest test that we did have was against the Timberwolves, who was also missing Julius Randle. And there was still, and we're facing a stretch 5 team. And the thing that KAT gives us, he gives us extra room on offense. But the thing that can kill us with KAT is him being able to defend those stretch 5s. And we're starting off the season with 2 stretch 5s pretty much with the Celtics and the Pacers. So I kind of figured we was going to struggle a little bit defensively based on what I saw from preseason in this game. And I also figured, I thought we were going to struggle a little bit more offensively. We didn't struggle that much offensively, to be honest with you. If you're looking at the huge picture, even though there's certain people who did struggle that I want to see more from offensively, we didn't struggle as much as I thought we would, but there's still a lot of room for improvement. So I'll start off the segment by mentioning that, and I want to get your thoughts on the game overall, Lee.
I was hoping we were going to win this game, and I was tight at first, not going to lie. When I sat down at the computer, turned on my monitor, you guys started chatting, I was like, you know what? Life is bigger than this game 1 out of 82. Let me relax. You and I were going back and forth, talking about life outside of a KOT show. And I was like, let me put this in perspective and just breathe and loosen the screws, because I can be very tightly wound sometimes, especially when it comes to these Knicks. Damn it, when we're in championship contention mode. I win every game, right? I'm the 70 burger guy, the 60 burger, the 50 burger. I really wanted to win. And the first half was very difficult to watch. I think if you're a Knicks fan of any level of experience, first year or 50th year, you were watching a team who could not defend a 3, and in every different variety of how a 3-point can be shot, they were failing to guard it.
Yeah.
And on offense, we looked really discombobulated. Mikal Bridges looked awful on both. He looked like complete ass. KAT was ball watching, but there were some signs of hope. I like KAT on the offensive side as a bailout option. I feel we've kind of have some like what Hartenstein was, where the play gets dissolved, there's a loose ball or you almost turn it over, you give the KAT, and where Hartenstein can do that push shot in the mid-range, KAT has an arsenal of point, a bucket in late game or late shot clock situations. Jalen Brunson was Jalen Brunson. He picked up right where the preseason left off. And then Deuce McBride. Woo! Man, Jay Ellis and I have been longtime super fans of Deuce. He, again, new season, new bag. He is showing us that now in the intermediate range, and he's showing some repositioning on the perimeter and being able to take this man off a dribble, step back, and then pull up a three. Impressive. So those were a few of the highlights. I'm sure we don't get into more detail on all of these points, but my point in case, I relaxed. I breathed, I relaxed. It's one game, but I really wanted to smack Celtics. You know, with KP in a 3-piece suit, I really wanted to smack him.
Me too, bro. Me too. Backhand ready. Backhand ready.
Get them next time.
Listen, I will say this. I know Lee is the guy who's going to be hyped on this show. I'm hyped too, but Lee is the hype. I'm on the Deuce McBride 6 Man of the Year train. I'm on that hype train for sure. For sure. I loved his relocation threes today. It seemed like as soon as his toe healed, that's all he was working on was this relocation threes. Okay, I'm going to be playing off of Jalen Brunson. How am I going to be able to effectively play off of him even better and relocate and hit these threes? He's done that. He's shooting in the mid-range. The defense is always there. Deuce was just freaking filthy. And we should just give him the 6 Man of the Year trophy today. Just save the time. Save the 81 games. We already know what's coming, right, guys? Right? We already know. Just give him the 6 Man of the Year trophy. Right? So I'm not worried about Deuce at all whatsoever. He's locked and loaded. He is just riding the wave from last year. Mikal Bridges. There's been a lot of talk about the hitch in his shot and him trying to fix his shot. And he was completely butt cheeks in the preseason. And the doo-doo streak continued first game of the season. But I feel like there was 2 things with Mikal. One thing was I feel like a lot of it was Tibbs' fault. Some of it was Tibbs' fault. I do not believe Mikal versus Tatum is the right matchup, per se. I was watching Mikal getting burned, and I'm going, we have OG Anunoby, who is like taller, stronger, a better matchup for Tatum. Why is Mikal on Tatum the entire game? I felt like OG didn't even get on him until like the third quarter when the game was already out of hand. And that's when I felt like Tatum started to have to drive more. But I wish we would have done that sooner. But also the one thing I will say is as the game wore on, it started to look like the old Mikal again. Like first half, he was doodle cheeks. Second half, he started to find his touch. He was hitting the mid range. He had a couple of threes. He was moving off the ball. He looked like he wasn't thinking as much. So, all the bad press that Mikal's been getting in the preseason, I think history will show that he will actually get better as the season progresses, and he'll start to look more like the Brooklyn / Phoenix Mikal for the Knicks. So long term, I'm not worried about Mikal just yet. I haven't hit the panic button just yet. I think that's going to turn. The KAT defense stuff, I've always been worried about. I think it's going to get better. How better will it be? I'm not sure. I just know from history that it takes Tibbs teams time to rev up defensively from the start of the year to the end of the year, especially when you have a new player like KAT. So I expect some hiccups to happen, especially when you're facing one of the best offenses in the NBA who won a championship last year versus a team who's just starting to learn to put it together. So I expected some of this stuff, but also like there's some stuff that I was always worried about, like the the slow processing speed where he's ball watching and not reacting. How are we going to guard the 3-point line moving forward? They kept involving KAT in not even pick and roll, just pick and pop. It was like one screen, pull up 3. I feel like they just did that for like most of the game when KAT was in the game. And you're going to have to adjust. KAT's going to have to step up, at least force him to like move, and then maybe try to rely on athleticism to recover after he steps up. But too many times I saw KAT just kind of just chilling too far from the 3-point line. And I'm not sure if he can survive that way. And that's the stuff that's like, I'm worried about long term. I do feel like overall defense will get better. It won't be as bad as this, where a team is almost hitting like record level of threes a game against us. But there's certain stuff that I still feel like we're gonna have to fix up long term defensively.
Man, you said a lot. Yeah, I'm gonna let you dictate the conversation, because everything that you mentioned, I want to at least add and amend them to. I'll start with Bridges. I think that a lot of the shot conversation is overhyped, and the optics are intensified because of a team that he plays for. I think now that New York is in contention territory and their eyes are watching us now. The mainstream media, the big media conglomerates are mentioning us, are talking about us, and installing us a contender. So the new players, him and KAT, people going to be extra focused because Brunson is guaranteed that he's going to produce. Yeah. And I think a lot of his time, if this was Detroit, if we were Detroit or Portland, no one would be talking about Mikal Bridges' hitch besides Knicks fans on Knicks Twitter.
Right.
So I don't put a whole lot of weight into that. You're right. He's a very smart, high IQ player. He's never been known as inconsistent or someone who goes through long shooting droughts. So I have the confidence that with his 2 best friends there and a head coach that knows how to manage personalities, know how to manage games, that will be figured out sooner rather than later. Agreed. I did a team sample size for KAT to figure some things out, Bridges to figure some things out, Josh Hart to figure some things out, and Tibbs.
Yeah.
This is a brand new team with new strengths.
Facts.
And Luke lost a lot of strengths. Now they have new weaknesses, but they lost some of the weaknesses and regained some form in some of those other areas too. So it's a brand new identity they're trying to carve out. And I agree with you also on OG Anunoby. In the second quarter, I told my dad, I was like, I don't understand why OG isn't trying to guard Tatum one-on-one.
Yeah.
When Bridges was not just trying to close out any opportunity that Tatum had to take him off a dribble or get to the basket, he was getting whatever he wanted on Mikal Bridges. And Bridges didn't cut that way is going to affect his mind and the offensive side of the ball. They're intertwined. The minimal basketball I played, I at least know that that's a reality on the court. And then the last thing before I hand the mic over, I thought that the Knicks really struggled guarding the ball strings, and Boston was coming after KAT, and they were coming after Brunson.
Yeah.
And that's going to have to be figured out. How do the Knicks readjust and try to hide one of the two or both? Because right now, Josh Hart, I think he looked a little more comfortable as more of an on-ball creator in the short row, getting guys active, got to the hoop a few times, drew a foul once. I think he's starting to find his rhythm in the starting unit. But on defense, how do you cover for both two guys who really can be torched in pick and roll situations when they get switched on to the wrong player? That's a question mark for the whole season.
Yeah.
And we better figure it out fast, because this was a blueprint and every team's watching. And
it's funny when the trade, I don't know if I said it on Twitter or if I said it here. Cause I just be talking sometimes, but that was my number one concern when the trade happened. I was like, the team that are going to pick and roll Brunson and KAT to death. Whatever team we play, if I was the coach, that's what I would do. I would involve these 2 guys to pick and roll, because both of those are slow. We have one slow-footed defender and one short guy who's a good team defender. That's who you pick on. So I can imagine that's what teams are going to do. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens when Mitch comes back, how he's included, if they try to use him to disrupt some things or what. But long term, we're still going to be a really good team. We just have a lot to figure out. Our 2 biggest offensive tests, to me, are still going to be the Pacers and the Celtics offensively. And are the Sixers in that conversation? Maybe when they're healthy. I'm not sure. Only because of the KAT fouling one-on-one thing with Embiid. That could be something to keep an eye on. But the Celtics and the Pacers offensively, I keep an eye on for sure.
Totally agree. It's also important to note that yes, they don't have KP, but the system remains the same. Horford is in so much of the same action that KP is in.
Facts.
So it's not that bit of a difference. It's not like Mitchell Robinson's coming off the bench and now they're schematically, they're running a completely different offense and defense. They're running the same thing. So everyone's in their same spots. Everyone knows their route. They brought back the same 9-man roster. They have high level of continuity. We're trying to figure things out on the fly. We only had 5 preseason games in a truncated summer. Not everyone was healthy and available to practice all at the same time. So, well, man, I'm giving it time. I'm giving it patience. I am not jumping out the window, but I'm also not turning on the grill for a 70 burger. I'm not doing that either. So I'm trying to keep things. I do think we'll win the championship this season, but having a loss like this to start out, I think can do us some good. There is a silver lining, which I look, man. Let's bring the hubris down. Let's embrace humility, and let's realize we have a lot of things to work on, and not get too cocky. Specifically, Mikal Bridges allowing the game to come to him, and just kind of slow down, right? Like slow down your shot making. Brunson, let's not get into ISO so much. Let the teammates get more involved. Pass the rock. Basically, mimic Boston. No one was ISOing besides Tatum, who was red hot. But really, they were just getting guys open because when the bench came in, again, they run the same action. It's a lot of pick and pop, curl screens, dragging horns, all that. It's all the same thing for shooters to be open in the corner as one of their star penetrators gets in to either draw a foul or get a hoop. Yeah, it's simple basketball, and we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. And but also too, it's like there's still little differences between the Knicks and Boston, and the biggest difference is even when we're all together and healthy and everybody's back to shooting their normal shot, because OG is still kind of been iffy, even though he's shown some signs in preseason. Mikal has been iffy, but I expect both of those guys to be better as the season progresses. Josh Hart, though, teams are still sacking off of Josh Hart, so yes. I'm watching that long term as well. Because when you actually when you match up the Celtics versus the Knicks, on offense, you go, who are we leaving open? And even though it didn't really affect us in the first half offensively, really, because we still scored fine. Like we missed threes, but at the end of the day, we shot like over 50%. So did it affect us? I mean, eye test, yes, it affected us, but overall, the defense was the bigger issue. But long term, I'm still looking at the Josh Hart spacing, seeing how much people cheat off of him to double on KAT or Brunson. I'm looking at that. But I'll also say about Josh Hart, though, that he did find himself offensively. But I expected that because he's not a preseason guy. He hates practice. When the lights are on, he's going to play. Go ahead, Leo.
Yes. I was going to say it got worse in that second quarter when they also started dragging off of Mikal Bridges. And they were leaving Mikal Bridges wide open too. So when you're leaving Josh Hart and Mikal Bridges wide open, and I did Brunson some credit, that's when he went in full ISO mode. And he was like, damn it, I gotta do it myself because there's no one else here that's being able to score. And the continuity's not there for OG to know his cutting lanes, for KAT to be able to play some low man, pick and pop or bid to bid type pick and roll action.
Right.
That continuity hasn't built yet. So guys weren't moving and Brunson had to hit the load on his back. Because I understand. When you're sacking off 2 guys on the corner, those are the 2 slots that are supposed to be where your shooting's coming from.
Right.
If it's not shooting there, I mean, that's just great defense by Boston. They gambled and they won big off of it.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. I had to laugh at the load off your back comment because I was late. I didn't even catch that until you said pause. I'm in first game back for him too. I should have just quick on the pause trigger, but yeah, pause that load on the back comment for sure. For sure.
No Diddy, damn it.
No Diddy, damn it. Shout out to Ebony. No Diddy. No Diddy. Shout out to Prezi the Boss. Picks for Timmy. Jose G Insight. JT Riddick. Jerry Nussbaum. Knicks Nation TV in the chat. Shout out to you guys who's rocking with the K2 show. Shout out to Abe as well. And thank you guys for watching. If you're liking the show, hit that like and subscribe. We're going to be here after every game talking Knicks basketball. Also, super chats are also welcome. Super chats, donations are also welcome. So if you want to help support the channel that way, we definitely appreciate that as well. We can talk about some other things too. Like I like you said, Lee, I want to see more. I want to see KAT involved more in the offense. But even with him not being involved in the offense, he was involved because just like the amount of layups I saw Brunson get was just crazy. I'm used to seeing Brunson go to the hole and seeing a 7-footer block him. He's gonna get so many layups this year. It's crazy. It's crazy to the point where it's like he's gonna have to kind of relearn how to shoot threes because he's not gonna have to rely on it as much. But I want to see KAT be involved more, but that's gonna be with more time as well. So I'm looking forward to that. Sims. Lee, what'd you think of Sims, man?
I think it was like early in last season. I told you I'd sold on my stock. I'm not a fan. My hit rate's decent. Pause in terms of like what players I think are good, what players I think are bad. I think I'm a decent judge of talent. I consider it one of my strengths, and I'm all out on Jericho Sims. But the one thing I have given him props on and flowers on this podcast, he's an above average rebounder. If there's one thing he does very well, it's rebounding. Sometimes he just kind of looks lost out there. The timing was still off in the first quarter, but it did improve as the game went on. I'll give him that as well. I need to see him be more active setting ball screens. Hot Porty came in preseason and was like setting 3-4 screens of possession sometimes. And Sims just kind of like it's lackadaisical. I think he's really just trying to run his route and try to be a lob threat, but we're not a team that throws lobs. So just focus on the little things right now. I don't want to beat up too much on him, man. He's a young kid that he does try his ass off. He's not no lazy player out there. He plays hard, but to me, he's not it. And it just reinforced why Mitchell Robinson should not ever be traded from this roster. I've said this a million times. Yes, he's a goofball. Yes, he's annoying as hell on Twitter and TikTok and whatever damn platform he's on. He can be really obnoxious and really dumb, but he brings that secret element, which is offensive rebounding, rim protection, shot blocking, and a true lob threat. We need Mitch, man. Sims is not a backup center on a championship team. He's a third string. He's your Luke Cornett. We need our Mitchell Robinson back in that backup 5 spot so that him and KAT can play together. I don't think Tibbs trusts Sims to play alongside KAT yet and be effective. I think it would hurt more than help with the spacing. So we'll see what happens, man. I don't want to beat up on KAT. I was hard on him in a chat because that's our little private. I feel like it's safe space for me to go on Jericho Sims. But here in public, I don't want to, his mom might be watching, man. Who knows? Shout out Jericho. You played hard at night. You're just not it.
Shout out to everybody. I thought everybody's gonna come here today, but stuff be happening. I feel like it's been too much on Sims, man. I'm not gonna hold you. I feel like the Sims hate train has been picking up steam, and I feel like it's like too much steam. I feel like it's over exaggerated. Like he's been our best rebounder in preseason, I feel like. And even in this game, he had 9 rebounds in 24 minutes. And who else? Freaking KAT played 23 minutes, had 7. You know what I'm saying? And after that, it's OG Anunoby with 5. He's the only guy actually rebounding the ball. And yes, he has his flaws, but I don't think he had like a terrible game today. I'm not gonna hold you. 2 or 3 from the field. There's a lot of garbage time though. I understand that. He actually tried a post-up move. I was actually happy to see him actually try a post-up move after getting a rebound and starting to move from outside of the free throw line. Like, I'm going to be aggressive. I'm going to take this myself and try something. I actually admired that he had the balls to even at least try something that he's been working on in the offseason. Because I've seen his offseason workouts. He's trying a bunch of stuff. So I'm happy to see that he's working on that. And I still have some stock. Not saying he's a starting center, but I still feel like he can be serviceable with reps. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying.
I actually might agree with you, but the hate train, and I might be the conductor of this train. And I'm talking about, it's also because the roster is so good, and the roster is also very likable. Like even the rookies are super likable. I mean, what's his name? McCullough. I haven't seen him yet, but I'm sure he's going to be an awesome defender. Sims just happens to be the odd man out. He's the only one who comes in and makes glaring mistakes when he shouldn't be making those mistakes in year 4. He's been on this roster. He has continuity with most of the players he's playing alongside, with the exception of maybe like Campaign. But most of the guys he's playing with, he's had enough reps. I think, to know where he should be in a dunker spot in certain moments to be able to be a lob or an offensive rebound. And outside of the boards, man, he doesn't give you much. And I don't think he's on the roster this time next year. I think they're going to invest in Hot Porty, Precious, Mitch, and KAT as our center bid rotation moving forward. I think it's inevitable that he eventually is waived, moved, cut, or something, and I think would be better for it.
We'll see. We'll see long term, because it seems like I feel like the organization likes Sims, man. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know about that. Like, what's his? You know what? What's his contract looking like? What's this? That'll tell me more. That'll tell me what his contract is looking like, because the Knicks have a pattern where if they don't extend you, they trade you. So we know that now. No matter how much you love the guy or hate the guy, if that man is not extended before the deadline, he's gone. We'll just have to assume that.
Jason M., who, side note, very happy to see you back in the chat.
Yo, Jason, man.
But he is one of the smartest basketball minds on Twitter. And I love people I don't agree with. And he's someone who I don't always agree with, but I always respect his opinion and how he says things. He says that his contract expires this year. So this is technically his last year.
Damn, so you might be right, Lee. You might be right. We'll see how that goes.
I don't know the stats and the advanced analytics. I just like what I see more from Hot Porty. Hot Porty just has a better intuition and nuance when he's on the court, no matter who he's playing alongside. It could be the starters and bench minutes. It could be the bench in a blowout. He just seems to know how to impact the game at a higher level. But I will give Sims credit. He's a way better rebounder.
No, yeah. Yo, my Hot Porty love and appreciation is separate from my Sims is trash, right? Comments that's have been happening and picking up steam lately. I definitely appreciate what Hot Porty has been doing. In his little minutes he had today, he had a block. He was very effective. It seems like he started off the offseason injured. So even in summer league, he seemed like he was kind of starting slow. He started picking up in summer league, and now he's actually picking up in preseason and into the season as well. So I actually like how Ariel has been playing. But even more than that, the dark horse in the 9-man rotation. Wait a minute. The dark horse in the 9-man rotation. All this time we've been arguing about Tyler Kolek. Oh, where Tyler Kolek play? Where Tyler Kolek play? All the while, in the wings, a Frenchman leaps out of nowhere and cracks the rotation. Granted, injuries had a lot to do with it, all right? Injuries had a lot to do with it because we lost Shamet. We lost Precious. But when you're looking at the Tibbs rotation, Mikal Dadiet, he's in the 9-man rotation. And I didn't get to comment on the post-game in preseason when Dadiet was playing well. But he deserves it, man. He deserves to be in this rotation. We need length. We need defense. We need shooting. He was doing that in preseason. Didn't shoot that well today, but didn't play that many minutes. He hit 1 3-point shot. But it's really the stuff that Tibbs loves, the intangibles, the moving without the ball, the being active on defense, that really puts it all together. And I thought Lee said what Lee says a lot of great things sometimes. Sometimes he says something like, what the hell is he saying? But but this take on Twitter, I was like, Lee, you cooking. I was like, Lee said, Daddy is what we were hoping Kevin Knox would be. I was like, damn if you ain't right.
Might drop.
Damn if you ain't right. The 19-year-old rookie who's lanky, can play defense, can move it out. See, but Daddy has the motor. That's something that Kevin Knox never had.
Yep, you took my take. No doubt.
Go ahead. I don't want to take all your take.
I agree. That's the difference. It's the motor. And if a rookie is going to catch Tom Thibodeau's eye, it's going to be the motor, not giving up on a play. And his off-ball movement is like a veteran. He just knows where to be. He's got a really high IQ, and he's pretty confident. His shot diet is a lot more usable in these type of games than someone like Kevin Knox, who doesn't really have a shot diet. He either takes the open shot or he tries to do something more than what he's capable of. Dadiot has his spots on the floor.
Yeah.
He has corners, and he has his little mid-range at the elbow that he likes to operate out of, and he's pretty damn good for a rookie. I mean, look, man, Walt Perrin, we've seen what he's done.
Yeah, man.
Every draft, but the what was that one? What was that one bum? Trevor Neal is Trevor Keels.
Trevor Keels. I mean, listen. We can't hit them all, Lee. We can't hit them all. You can't make every shot. You can't win all 82, all right?
He's batting 99999.
Exactly.
Finding him in a late first round, of a draft that supposedly wasn't going to be good, but from what I've seen, this is a very good draft. And Dadiot might be right now the most impactful French player out of a draft too, which is incredible because he was drafted the farthest into the first. He's solid. I like his size. He plays within his game. I think he's someone that when Precious comes back into the lineup, he might be used in that 9.5 man, right? Like that spot or situational where we're playing a team like Boston that's long, has some long, rangy wings that can hit threes. But Cohen's been playing good enough defense on and off ball to earn a spot.
Yeah.
Love the future. The future is very bright. He could be ready to be in really in the 9-man rotation by next season. I'm real high on the kid, and he doesn't have an accent. I don't know where he grew up. I keep hearing he's French, but he sounds like Mikal Bridges. He sounds like he has no international accent.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And he isn't an international either. He plays an American game. He doesn't play soft. The Euro has definitely evolved, but French players have a certain perception to them, and Rudy Gobert is kind of a catalyst for that. This guy reminds me of Nicholas Batum, actually. He has a game a lot like Batum when Batum was drafted in Portland, where he's a lot of cutting, backdoor cutting, a lot of off-ball movement, catch and shoot in that Rip Hamilton mode. And hey, man, Batum could end up playing the 2 or the 3 for us and add size, add IQ. I like him. Lots of intangibles.
Yeah, because we keep trying to fill in these roles of these long wing guys who are multidimensional, and we've been missing on a lot of them. It seems like, at least the drafts, but this one I think you actually might have hit on. So kudos to Walt Perrin, the front office, for really doing a great job of just finding the diamonds in the roughs, and we and even the way we signed them, like He's underpaid at his rookie scale. He got paid the lowest he was allowed to be paid for where he was picked, and it was all so that we can actually manipulate the cap and be under the second apron. So the front office did a job not even finding talent, but just managing the money to stay under the second apron and convincing somebody to actually take that so he can stay and learn with the team. So I just like that pick all around, from the front office to the talent to development to him just getting a chance to play against the Celtics game 1 of the season. I like Kid. I like the kid.
Shout out Tibbs.
Yeah. And shout out to Ian too, because Ian he talked about it in one of his write-ups where he said that he's taking the Knicks staff by surprise.
Right.
Where they didn't think he was going to be as good as he's showing. So it's interesting to see. They might not be panicking as much with these losses of Shamet and Precious because we have guys on our bench who don't look bad. And I'll say this too, even though we lost the game, I've always been concerned about the non-Brunson minutes. And this is only game 1, but the non-Brunson minutes offensively, it didn't look bad. It looked like whether it was KAT who was running the offense, or the combination of KAT and Miles McBride, who were kind of playing off each other, or even there was a stint where Mikal started to find his touch and he said, "Screw it, I don't have to think anymore," and he started to score. It seemed like we were able to find enough to actually keep the shit moving offensively when Brunson was on the bench, which is a big deal. It's a really big deal.
I have a theory as to why that is. I think it's just hierarchy is in place, and that really helps both of those 4 guys that are playing next to each other, but also whatever starter moves into them. So I think Bridges, he knew when he was with the bench, that's when he started playing better in this game, because he went to the top of the hierarchy. He was at number 1, the totem pole. McBride was 2, and then Cameron Payne was 3, and then Dadiot and Sims at the bottom. But the starting 5, that hierarchy is not set yet. We all know Brunson's 1 and Hart is 5, but the 2 through 3 right now is really it's up in the air. On paper, you would probably think it might be Bridges because he's more on ball than KAT, but the shot's not there. And he's looked really timid at times in this game, too. It might be like OG seems to be more aggressive in the first half than he trailed off in the second. KAT had his moments on offense in the first and second, but then he didn't really play that much in the second half when it was a blowout. So I think that level of hierarchy is what's keeping the starting unit from really having more cohesion. It's like, what are your roles? Those need to be more defined, and you did that way in practice. That's where you decide who is who. With a bench, it's different. But you have Payne. Payne's played his minutes. He just wants to win a chip, so he'll take the bat seat. Pacomb's a rookie. He has no say. Sims is a bum. He has no say. So it's McBride's show on the bench, and then whoever comes in as a starter. So that helps, man, with the cohesion. You know where the ball is going to swing, and if you're open, that means it's meant for you. Take the shot.
Yeah, I agree. And it's funny. I feel like I got a lot of heat for asking the question on Twitter. They thought I was coming at KAT when I was asking who's the second option, who's the third option, and how do you like kind of frame it? Because I wasn't like super ecstatic when the trade happened, thinking it was a home run trade. People thought it was kind of viewed it as hate, but I was generally just curious as a basketball fan, as a fan of my team. Knowing how he played with the Timberwolves and how Mikal played in Brooklyn, where things are going and how the offense is going to flow. Because you are right. Like I feel like I've seen OG Anunoby actually be more the aggressor in when you tally all the preseason games with this game. It almost feels like OG is like a pseudo number 2, weirdly.
Yes.
And then KAT. But then there was like one game where I felt like KAT was the definitive number 2 in the preseason anyway, where he's like, all right, KAT is posting on the wing. KAT is making plays from the foul line. So like I'm really curious to see how that develops in the chemistry between the starters.
Yes, I think that Mikal Bridges needs to find a shot. And in my opinion, he's the second option. Because I think it's more likely you're going to run offense through him, and there's going to be more high usage percentage roles for him on ball doing an ISO. KAT is more, Tibbs is playing more of like a read and react offense. He's going to score more in those opportunities and then playing the pick and pop and pick and roll with Brunson. To me, he should be third, Bridges should be second, and OG should be fourth. But right now it's been thrown out of whack because Bridges is both not shooting well and he's been timid.
Yeah, I feel like I might be good with that too, or depending on the matchup. I'm still trying to figure it out myself, to be honest with you, because the game that I liked in the preseason where KAT was posting at the wing and at the foul line making plays, I kind of liked the way that looked for sure. I'm still deciding myself, to be honest with you. I'm still deciding myself without you, but I also like Mikal in pick and roll situations. Be able to operate on the elbow and then give the ball to KAT too. So I like both of those. I like both of those type of situations. So I'm still on the fence. I'm waiting to see how things develop, and I'm glad I don't have Tibbs' job.
Me too.
But salute to the chat though. Salute to the chat though. I see my guy Roddy in the building. Shout out to my guy Roddy. He drew a picture of KAT with the bodega cat in the background. That was pretty funny. So shout out to
I love
Roddy.
Great guy.
Yeah. Roddy, for you guys that don't know, is like my college ace. Boom. All right. Known each other for years. All right.
He's a great guy.
Great guy. He has no facial hair, but he's a great guy. Great guy. Yeah, see, if you have facial hair, then you can probably see the age on him because me seeing my grades is coming. Shout out to my guy Roddy. Shout out to Prezi the Boss too. Shout out to Craig Ward. Glamour Knicks, I saw you in the building. Shout out to you. Huh?
I was just shouting out Glamour. That's the homie.
Yeah, shout out to Glamour Knicks. I tried to recruit Glamour Knicks for once upon a time. Shout out to Glamour Knicks. The chat loved Glamour.
Yep.
What can I say? Yeah. Shout out to Optimus. Everybody rock with the KOT show. Cool. I feel like I touched on everything in my heart. I don't know if you want any. Only thing I can say to that is somebody asked about Shamit. Wasn't Shamit waived? Yes, Shamit waived. I haven't actually talked about it officially. Shamit was waived. If you guys did not know, he went down, and he's trying to avoid off-season shoulder surgery. So prayers out to Shaman, but he seems in good spirits. He seems, right before he got waived, he posted a video on Twitter. He was pedaling that bike, and he looks like he's working hard to get back. So for all intents and purposes, it seems like the Knicks will be looking to bring him back into the fold once he's back and fully healthy in a month from now. So keep an eye out for that. Also, the Knicks have to have 14 people on their roster, and currently, how much do we have, Lee?
I believe we have 13 signed.
13 signed. You sure? Am I bugging? I thought it was 12. It's 12. I'm pretty sure it's 12.
I'm including Hot Porty to be
right, because we're gonna have to convert a two-way contract, which will most likely be Hot Porty, to make that 13, and we still will end up having to probably sign somebody off of waivers, and so keep an eye out for that. The latest news has been the Knicks are indeed looking at a three-point shooter to replace what Shamet has left. And so keep an eye out for that, because the Knicks are looking to pick up Matt Ryan from the Pelicans, who's a guy who's been a deadly three-point shooter in numerous stops. And he's shot in over 40% from the three last year with the Pelicans. So look out for that signing from the Knicks coming within the next few weeks. All right. And it's interesting too, because, the Knicks have done a really good job of staying under that second apron. So the fact that two people went down makes that second apron really interesting, because I think normally a team would just be like, all right, I'll just sign somebody else. But now there's two people went down, the Knicks are just gonna the Knicks pretty much have to at least ride out one person. They can't sign two new people and risk being over the second apron. That's the way I see it anyway.
Agreed.
Shout out to Fritz, who said he shot 45% last year for the Pelicans. Woo, sharp. You can use some of that.
I think on 3 attempts too, if I'm not mistaken.
On 3 attempts? That's crazy.
He was playing like 15 minutes a game or so. I think he played like 50 games. Small sample size, but for the role we need him in, basically that sample size.
That's a small ass sample size if I ever heard one.
Yeah.
But keep an eye out for that. But you know what? He ain't gonna get no burn, because Dadiet is gonna be playing, man. The Frenchman. I want to see. It's funny to see Pacomb's phenomenon, because I feel like Knicks fans were turned off by first round young French prospects for the rest of their life. But guess what? Hold up, wait a minute. Y'all thought I was finished. Nope, we drafted another Frenchman. All right. And it seems like you guys actually like this. All right. Let's get it.
The curse of Frederick Wise is broken. Which started way back in 1999.
Yes.
Continued with Frank Ntilikina. It's officially broken. Pacome Dadiot's here to stay, and he's a baller.
Absolutely. Let's turn that page and finally break the curse. And he got locked. And he told like he's from Queens. He don't even talk like he's from France. He has a whole different vibe that I'm feeling. Shout out to him, man. Shout out to him. All right, but yeah, that's it. I think I've touched on everything I wanted to touch on. Did you want to touch on anything else, Lee?
No, I do want to give Cameron Payne a shout out. I thought he held down the fort. But a lot of his minutes came after the blood had already started and the momentum wasn't stopping. It was just like a boulder rolling down a hill. But I thought that he showed. I like his moxie, and I mentioned this on Twitter, and I got a lot of agreements, but I also got murdered for saying it too. When he comes in, he does bring that game shifting energy that the time I ever saw was Emmanuel Quickly was able to do that. He brings it in a very smaller sample size, a smaller impact. But he can come in and just pull up randomly for a three and knock it down and chase out their loose ball. I like the energy and the effort he brought when we were down by 30 in the fourth quarter. He was still fighting. He was still trying to keep them from scoring that last three. And, I think he's a solid veteran that's going to have some special moments in the playoffs. It's going to take a while for him to really fill his role, but it has allowed McBride to play his best role, which is really the two. He's way more suited for the two, and him being off ball has allowed him to create a lot of interesting offensive sets for us to show off his full bat. So shout out Cameron Payne. He's been a good pickup. Looking forward to seeing more from him.
Yeah, I've always liked Campaign. I've always liked him from the Phoenix days when he kind of went when Paul went down and he started to kind of show up in the playoffs. It kind of let me know, like, oh, he shows up in good moments. So I always liked him. It's funny enough. I know Lee and I have been going back and forth about whether Tyler Kolek should start or not start, get in the rotation or not. And Ian Begley came out with a report earlier that said Tyler was ahead of Cam in the hierarchy. And then I'm gonna give Lee some flowers. And Lee was like, that was before the season started. And then Ian came on like a week ago. Was it a week ago? And it was like, yeah, it was first saw that that campaign was first thought that campaign was behind Tyler, but the coaching staff now see campaign as above Tyler and did it in the rotation. But so shout out to campaign in general for just impressing the coaching staff. I still feel like Tyler has a lot of. Oh, look! Wait a minute. Hold on! Wait a minute. Y'all thought we was finished?
I do want to say, Jay, I agree with you. It's not that it won't Tolkien. I just didn't think Tibbs would play a rookie. But look, man, Bacomb's in their lineups, or who knows? We just see some Tyler guest appearances in the rotation if anyone else throws down, God forbid, or in the future.
Right. Here's Jason says, see, here's the thing about Campaign struggles today. He's very streaky, either hot or cold. That's the thing about. That's the thing that I was thinking about. I was like, okay, Cam is streaky. Shamet's defense has been, actually Shamet's defense has been better than I thought. I can't even hold you. Shamet's defense has been better than I thought. So I felt like if there was a chance to get in, it'd be between the streakiness and maybe the defense. But Shamet's defense has actually held up. Tyler's defense still needs work. I feel like if Tyler's defense steps up, you have a better shot, but it still seems like he has a ways to go on in that regard. But yo, we got a whole we pretty much did a whole show. But guess what? Overtime. I was about to end that joint and Ebony stepped in. I'm gonna just let you let off the clip. Ebony, listen, we gotta excuse Ebony for being late. She was out partying because the Liberty just won. And she's been partying. She hasn't slept since the Liberty won. All right. I'm gonna just let you guys know right now. She hasn't slept. So she probably just left the party from the other day.
Oh, you can't see Liberty?
Yeah, she just left the party, turned off the Liberty shirt, put on the KFT hat, and hopped on the show. So
yeah, we finished business. Business.
What's going on?
I'm chilling, excited to start the season. Didn't think we was gonna start like this though, but I knew it was gonna be some growing pains. They got to get the chemistry. I just didn't think the chemistry would look so far off.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that was crazy is that we've been talking about how our defense is gonna be immaculate and how we're gonna give people fits. You go through OG, you gotta go through Mikal. They were calling them wing stop. I was saying, please stop. Someone. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, but stop a nosebleed, stop a cold, stop something.
Stop, please, something, someone. Do something. Nah, but we just it worried me a little bit. It definitely did. This worried me a lot. Because it was kind of the stuff that was in the back of your mind. Did we trade away the intensity? Did you trade away your not your heart, but it just looked lack of heart. Yeah, I guess you want to say that. They look real soft. If I want to say myself, you get KAT. I'm not. He's on our team, so he's on our team. But you can't let Drew Holiday push you. You can't continue to let these guards push you out of your spots. What year is KAT in? What year is this season? Like his seventh?
No.
What year here?
Is
I
this
don't
his
know.
seventh?
I
No, it's like
don't
his
know.
eighth. It's like his ninth, right? Or eight. I don't know.
The grown man
So
strength.
he's been around.
So the grown man strength ain't kicking yet.
Yeah.
Like you know how you say that with the rookies, second year, third year players, about them getting pushed out of their spots. But come on, KAT. Come on.
Yeah.
That was that.
He did
And
that
then
to Randall too. He's done that to Randall too. I'm not even gonna hold you. Like when Drew Holiday was pushing Randall off his spot, I was like, what is happening right
yeah, I could get because it's Drew, but I forgot who it was. Who do we play? And he let them get him right off their spot. I can't remember who it was. I can't remember. But yeah, it's not. I seen it a couple times. Too many times for my liking. You get
now? Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Y- y-
Already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what, Ebony? I do have concern. I love Dante's feistiness. I do. I do. I do wonder if because here's the thing, Mikal, for all intents and purposes, is a really good defender, and he's more versatile to me than Dante can be.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like it's that it factor. It's the Dante has the bark that can be infecting other teams sometimes. He gets it in your face, he gets everybody. I don't know if he just gets me hyped because I'm a fan. I'm not sure if he does that for the team on the floor, but when I'm watching, it makes me want to run through the screen and headbutt people. You know what I'm saying? When I watch Dante play. But so I understand what you're saying about that heart and that grit. But what I will say is still give Mikal Bridges time. Still give him time to figure out the team. I still think overall the defense is going. You might not see the gritty, the personality and the vivaciousness of the just the I'm gonna embarrass you defense, but he's gonna be shutting people down. I just feel like Tibbs used him wrong today. To be honest with you, I don't think he should have been on Tatum.
Even with Mikal, I'm asking us, the Knicks community, to do one thing. Don't jump on this media thing I'm seeing pushing everybody want to talk about his jump shot. Don't do that because there's a new play and a new situation. We do not want this man in his head. Don't do the media's work for them, please. We do not want this man in his head.
Amen.
Okay, we need him.
Preach.
You sound like us.
Huh?
We said the same thing.
Yeah. You said the same thing. You said exactly the same thing.
It'll work out.
It's just gonna take time. Just let him roll. Just let him roll. He started to come around in the second half.
Yeah, facts. Wasn't even mad about Mikal because again, it's a new situation for him. He has to learn. I just don't want him to get in his head. That's the only thing I don't want him to do. Block out the noise and everything else will work out itself.
I agree.
It's just the players that we have in total. I seen what Boston's game plan was. They were willing to give us any 2-point that we wanted. Any layup, any mid-range, they were cool with that because they was getting threes. They were exchanging threes for twos.
Mm-hmm.
You go right ahead, Jalen Brunson, and do your little whoop-de-doo. Go ahead.
Whoop-de-doo. And they did that last year too. That's how they won the chip, doing that.
Do your thing. You get what I mean? Because in doing that, nobody's rotating. There is not that much rotation. There's not that much recovery going on. You don't see them looking like a chicken with their head cut off like we were, and still giving up open 3-pointers at that.
You know what I'll say, Ebony? And I thought about this, and you saying this made me want to say this now that you mentioned it. It's just kind of I like different people sometimes, because sometimes somebody will say something and it'll trigger a thought that you had in the back of your head. If they're gonna go for threes and they're gonna put Drew Holiday on KAT all game, we gotta punish that to the point where, oh, this is what you're doing? Cool. Guess who's going to have 5 fouls in the first quarter?
Yeah.
Because there's no way Drew Holiday is stopping KAT in the post consistently for the entire game.
I hope not. He better not. KAT, he new to the team. I'm gonna give him grace too, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how long that's gonna last. got traded for a lot, and we paying you a lot too. That's all I'm gonna say about that. But it was just that's a reason why I always said I really didn't want him on our team before the trade happened, because I saw what Minnesota had to do to get a big to accomplish fit his style so he can be KAT. Like right now,
Right.
I don't think Tibbs is going to keep him at the 5. It's just like a hold us down until help comes back. Hold us down, because I can't see him wanting KAT at the 5. You're asking a lot of that man to do the dirty work and handle the scoring load on the other end. That's a lot to ask. That's
I'm
a lot of
curious.
wear and tear, and especially in a thin where they say is a thin spot in our rotation and our depth. So I don't see him staying there for the whole year. I really don't want him to be honest.
It's.
I do.
I don't.
I'm on the fence. I feel like I feel like the fact that we made that trade, we have to try it and try to make it work, because offensively it maximizes Brunson's ability to get into the paint. Like, Brunson was sliding in the paint today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, I'm with you, because listen, we was on the same page when the trade happened. And like, KAT at the 5 defensively is scary, and we saw that today with the wasn't able to really help in the hole, wasn't able to stop 3-point shooters. Like, it was.
Can I ask you a question? Were we able to get into the paint any way we wanted to, or did they let us? Was that their game plan?
Combination.
That because multiple times where it's about 3-4 people in the paint and there was no spacing. Like this is what I'm saying. And it wasn't a Sims moment. It was just multiple times where it was 3 or 4 people in the paint and it wasn't no spacing. Multiple times.
Well, you know what it is?
With no flow.
You know what it is? I feel like it was a mixture of both. I feel like without a doubt, we're able to pull centers out of the paint. So yes, there was people in the paint sometimes. A lot of times I don't feel like it was really the center. To me, what was happening was, and we talked about this earlier, Ebony, before you got here, Josh Hart and Mikal, they weren't shooting well. Celtics were sagging off of those two a lot of the first half of the game. And I feel like that's where a lot of congestion went during the game. But OG's first bucket was like a wide open layup, because you have to account for KAT.
I see Jason and said the spacing isn't just offensive chemistry. I understand, but it still happened. It still happened.
Yeah, we gotta give that. We're gonna give that time. We're gonna give that time.
I get it. I said that. I'm the one that said it's not gonna be pretty in the beginning. They have to gel with each other. You've seen the stagnant on offense, and then you've seen the miscommunications on defense. That comes from no chemistry. That comes from not having it, not being comfortable or aware of everybody that you playing with.
That's a fact.
That happens, that happens. But what I do say, like I wrote in the chat, I had to ask y'all, did we swap one watcher for another?
I just like your facial expressions.
Did we?
Yes, we did. Yes.
Did we swatch one? I'm watching.
Yeah, I'm playing Dr. Dre's The Watcher in my head. That was my jam. The Jay-Z, Dr. Dre The Watcher. That was my show.
Because KAT was watching too. It was a couple balls. There was lack of effort today. Like, I know Boston was ring ceremony, adrenaline on 1,000. They feel like they was disrespected, their stars, whatever. They said it 1,000 times. We know he didn't get disrespected. He just it's not his time. He you look at who played above him. Who you sitting over for? Jason Tatum. I'm just, that's Olympic shit though.
That's why he went off, because of people like you, Ebony. See,
whatever, he can do what he want. If that's what it got to take you to get some heart, go ahead, do your thing. do your thing. You get what I mean? But it's just that we played with no, like what I've seen. We've won some ugly games all last year. It was grit and grind. I didn't see. We have a lot of people that just calmly wait to the game to come to. That's what I saw today. Just coasting, waiting for the game, and that's cool in certain situations. But we needed all out
Yeah,
hustle, just like the Boston Celtics were doing. I was watching
yeah,
them I watched KAT watch somebody run to the ball in front of him. Like that stuff like that will get me on your bad side.
I
I won't.
understand. Yeah,
That's not.
it's a balance on him where sometimes where he watches too much, and then the other times he plays so hard that he fouls. Like that's the thing that he's been.
I've noticed in
But
this one
offensively
game.
though, like I'll still say offensively though, I think it's. I feel like there's still is offensively and defensively is going to get better.
Mhm.
I definitely feel like our offensively our ceiling is going to be much higher than defensively.
I hope so. I got to get used to my big when they see a smaller player over them, they pull in a three instead of putting him in the post. That's gonna be something different. He had a mismatch and then he did a step back three. They did a pick and roll, and this time, Drew Holiday wasn't on him at first, so he switched on him. And instead of, maybe backing him up, he did a little step back three, and it went in. But to me, it felt weird. I was like, I got to get used to this. I have to get used to this. I'm not used to my big seeing a smaller player, and the first thing he says is, "Let me shoot a three over." That's just
Yeah.
different for me.
That's fair.
Everybody's talking like an old head now.
I'm talking like I like my bigs to be big.
He's
I'm
young.
sorry.
He's young. They all they want to do is shoot three. You sound like
Nah, and it's crazy because I'm a shooter. That's what I did when I played. Like I shoot, but it comes a time and a place you have to mix it up. Like I just I'm gonna have to get used to it. That's all.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. That's why he's here, Ebony. He's here because he's one of the best 3-point shooting big men in the NBA. So he's gonna do that. And I don't mind it as long as he does it. Does it when the time calls for it, is what I'll say. Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
So
but other than that, I do want to say one thing quick class too. Shout out to Deuce. I calling it now. 6 man a year if he stays on the bench, that might not happen. He might not just stay there. But
you putting Josh
if
on
he
the
does,
bench?
yeah, I would love it. I'm surprised to see Josh in the starting lineup. I'm not even gonna hold
I am
you.
too.
I would rather him
I'm not
off the
surprised
bench.
at all.
I'm not surprised because of Tibbs, but I'm surprised because why?
Because you want to, in theory, you want to be able to switch certain matchups, but Tibbs hasn't been really running a switch. I don't feel like he's been switching that much.
No, he hasn't. He did in preseason, but he did not tonight.
Right. So in theory, if you want to run like switching defense, you go with Josh Hart. But if you're gonna stick to like I'm fighting over screens, then you try Deuce because Deuce can do that. But then also, like I always say, it also depends on matchups. If you have a team that's like really long, then it might be harder to go with a Brunson McBride matchup for every single matchup. But the plus minus stats from last year kind of show that the Brunson McBride game does work together well. So maybe you just go screw it.
Maybe.
Maybe just go screw it. But
I think maybe once we get some size back, he might do it.
Or Pacone Daddy just balls out and we just starting him. We can do that.
Yeah. It's gonna take some time.
I know,
Remember
I know,
that grown
I know,
man
I know,
strength
I know.
I was talking about?
I know.
You gotta get that.
I know. I know it's not gonna happen. I'm just talking smack, but
He tried to post Pritchard up, and Pritchard didn't move at all. He was just like, all right.
man, a couple more leg days, he'll be all right. He'll post them up.
Yeah, he gotta get that grown man strength first. I'm excited to see his game grow though.
Mm-hmm.
And what else? Yeah. Again with Deuce, he's also reading the game very well. Remember, the game slows down. He's taking what the defense gives him. Well, okay, you're gonna give me a little mid range. I'm gonna take that. You're gonna give me this. You're gonna give me a layup. I'll go get that. I can step back 3-pointer. Okay, I'm gonna do that. Oh, you're gonna play. He's reading the game very well. So I'm excited to see more of that because it does look like the game has slowed more for him.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably like the only positive of this game besides it being over for me.
Got you. All right. So now we had like a second post game after the first post game, low key. So for you guys who came late, because Gregory was like, "Damn, I came late." Ebony came late too, so you got a whole second show. All right, or at least Ebony's breakdown. And if you want to get more details of what me and Lee were talking about, you can just hit that rewind because me and Lee was going in depth about some other things as well. So if you missed that, just hit the rewind, and we went into depth about a little more about pick and roll and defense and 6-man and 9-man rotations and all that. So go back and listen to all that stuff. All right, cool.
Yeah, I was cooking. Lee, I was cooking. I know y'all was.
Yeah,
We were running that 2-man game.
Yeah, we was doing 2-man weave. You know what I'm saying? Even though I got no.
I was doing mommy duty. Sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. All right, I like that. Now let's get to the other part of the show. Do we have
bruh picks?
Do we have any? Bruh. Oops.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I got a list, but I'm just gonna hope I don't forget nobody.
Oh, you got a list. Oh, he came with a hit list today. Oh, let me explain for people if anybody's new. Bruh picks are usually the worst plays of the game. Sometimes not even the game. Sometimes just something stupid, dumb, idiotic that you want to point out and say, this was stupid. This was dumb. Idiotic. So, bruh, what is that? Bruh. So, yeah, my bruh button is making this screen switch. I don't know why that's happening. It's weird. But that's what bruh picks are.
I'm going to start my bruh pick because we just talking about it. You know, a team just bought New York a chip in basketball. You know, the first one in 51 years. So I got to talk about the haters and the sore losers. The haters and the sore losers. Cheryl Reeve. She's a Hall of Famer. I don't want to call out, so I feel bad calling her Goofy Reeve, but Goofy Reeve, man. Like, I have the utmost respect for her resume.
You called her Goofy though, so I don't know if you.
No. I have the utmost respect for her resume.
Okay.
But for her though, after this whole Crimea River, her whole Justin Timberlake thing she doing right now, no, I don't. That's gone right out the window. Just lose with some class at once. You lost at your own game. You got outsmarted at your own game. That's a big L on you. Just take your L, Goofy. You complain to the refs in game 4 about the calls. They get the calls in game 4, but they don't get eliminated. They come force to game 5. Guess what the Liberty coach does? She says, hey, if that's all I got to do, literally, that's what she said. If that's all I got to do is talk to you guys to get some fouls, then, you know, bloody hell. That's what she said. She Australian, so. Basically, you know. Guess who gets the calls in game 5? So Goofy Reed. This was stolen from us, and this and this and that. She talking about illegal planes, and we build our team the right way and no super team. This is why she's another bruh pick.
Damn.
Look at her teams. The Maya Moores. She got Sylvia Fowles. Her teams were the definition of super team. When all 5 of your whole team was a Hall of Famer, that's the type of team she had. That when she got her 4 championships. So to come and disregard the work that these ladies done and then try to throw shots about things that they got punished for already for trying to help you out. They got punished for trying to get y'all charter planes. But you coming at, so that was that. And the Fisha following up with the sore loser vibes. Like, just take your loss. And I'm a group in the rest of the haters that just hate New York.
Always the rest of it.
Yeah, y'all can take y'all loss too, talking about y'all should be ashamed. Nope, y'all gonna see how ashamed we are on Thursday. Exactly how ashamed we are on Thursday.
Parade.
We got a chip, man. Come on.
The precursor.
Please. It's been a season in the W, believe me. I had arguments with Ghost and Cars, all kinds of crap.
Ghost and Cars?
Yeah.
Or Ghost Cars, like.
No. He's a ghost. Literally what I
Ghost
said. Ghost.
Ebony is hilarious.
Right? And who else? I feel like I'm forgetting somebody. Dang, I can't remember because I got all excited about Minnesota Goofies that I forget. Jeez. I think that's it for today that I can remember.
Okay.
All the haters. Yeah, they thought we was gonna feel ashamed. They tried to shame us. Bad calls are a part of the game, people. We've been bit by those a lot. So imagine telling a New Yorker, don't enjoy your championship. Yeah, okay.
Right.
I'm gonna get sturdy on it for you one good time, okay?
Sheesh.
with my Liberty finished business shirt. But that's it. That's all the bro picks I got.
Okay. All right. Got sturdy on him.
Bruh.
Yeah, they did us dirty, man. They tried to at least.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to you guys, man. I'm not gonna hold you. I was trying to bring that Liberty show here, but it wasn't.
It's
But
coming.
it's coming though. It's coming.
It's coming. We'll work things out.
Work things out. All right. Any bros, Lee?
You got bro pickly? Oh, you on mute. You pulling to me.
My bad. I'm over at my pops' house and I was hanging out with him. So he was telling me I had to lock the door because I ended up going later than I thought I was. No bruh pits. I just have a shout out. I want to give a shout out to my main man, Papa Left, and his wife. They suffered a tragic loss, a miscarriage.
Oh, damn.
I think it was either yesterday or the weekend. Papa Left, good guy, charter member, foundation member of Knicks Twitter. Very funny person, but a very funny Knicks fan, but also a great person. And I want to give double blessings to his wife and him and their entire family for what they're going through. They've been in my prayers, along with many people right now who seems that a lot of people are hurting right now and going through some tough life situations, including myself. But what Papa Left is going through, I can't even imagine what that feels like. So just, giving him our love. The entire KOT family is here for you, my brother. Yeah, man, just giving you a special shout out and thinking of you and your family during these times.
Damn, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, facts. Facts.
Shout out to Papa Left, man.
If y'all know who he is, just surround him. Surround him. He's going. They need it. Some days are better than others.
Got you. All right. Yeah, no bro picks for me either. No bro picks for me. No.
We should put the Knicks on the bro pick for being blown out opening night.
Bruh.
Yeah. Y'all tried it. Y'all really tried it. Y'all really tried to be record breaking on opening night. Yeesh. Yeah, I can already tell you Tibbs is gonna be up all night talking about defensive slides and 3-point rotations. You're gonna be dreaming about them joints, man. Tibbs don't play about that.
They was getting some great looks, man.
Yeah, great looks. Really good looks.
And Jason Tatum didn't see nobody in front of him today.
Nope.
Yeah. We talked about that earlier too, Ebony. OG should have been guarding him and not Mikal. We talked about that too.
Yeah.
It makes me more sense. All right. Any book recommendations?
I'm at my pops' house, so I don't have my library around me to give recommendation, but I will double up next time for next show.
Got you.
I've been reading like a madman.
You always do.
That's true.
Oh man. Yo, do I have any? Damn, I was watching. So I've been freelancing lately. So as you don't know, I'm like animating. So I was like working and watching anime. And there was one anime on Netflix. I cannot remember the name of it. But the first season was so good, and the second season was so boring.
It's like that sometimes.
But I appreciated the story. And I forgot the name. And the anime was the funny thing was the anime wasn't even like about Japanese people. The anime was about white people. So I was like, is this an anime for real? It was like
Is this considered an anime?
Yeah, but it was like, well, I see the little characters and okay. But the story was good. It was about revenge and the fighting scenes were crazy. But what made it crazy was it was a kid just cutting people up. It was mad graphic. It was crazy. It was this one. When I get the name of the anime, I'm gonna remember for next show because I forgot the name. I pretty much watched both seasons. I watched the whole damn 2 seasons in a few days because I was working and watching.
Have either of you watched the manga, or actually anime, Uzumaki by Junji Ito?
Mm-mm.
Junji Ito is like my favorite. He's considered in Japan like the greatest horror manga artist and writer ever. He writes, it's very, very like dark, basically like bringing in all these myths of like the H.P. Lovecraft, like monsters out of the sea and coming from the skies, but also very psychological. They just adapted his big book of manga, Uzumaki, into an anime show. I believe it's on Netflix. and said 6 or 7 episodes. They're very good. Jay, when you talk about anime and manga, it reminded me of that. Junji Ito is like the horror master of Japan. So he also just had a memoir come out about where all of his inspiration comes from, which essentially is his dreams, which is very interesting to me. Yeah, it's pretty good.
That's what's up.
Real quick. Yeah, it sounds good. You know, the anime I tried like 2 and then I never tried again. Like I didn't get into Dragon Ball Z. And then I forgot another one. My mister
Ooh,
tried to make
my favorite.
was watching. And I'm like, I can't do it. So I just skipped. I just didn't
You
try
have to
again.
be there, man. You have to be there.
Yeah,
I
that's true. You
guess.
did have to be there.
I guess.
You had to be a 13-year-old boy.
Yeah, it's different. It's different when
I
you
was
grew
hyped.
up on Dragon Ball. When you're like, like Lee said, like 12, 13, and you watching somebody punch somebody in the stomach and their fist is coming out their back, and you're like, yo, what in the hell?
Excuse me. But yeah, somebody I can't see the chat. There's Gregory Lee. Shout out to Gregory. He said, "Let's hope we beat the Pacers because if we look the same, I might start getting scared."
I'm gonna let you guys know we're going to look shaky for these first 10 games. I'm not gonna.
I hope not against the Pacers though. I told
We're going to
I
look
had a
shaky.
Pacers fan telling me we wasn't deep. We can't lose to them.
Stretch fives. KAT guarding stretch fives is going to be a problem. Now the thing about the Pacers is they're gonna have a problem guarding us too, but the Pacers have been together longer.
Yes.
So they're gonna be doing stuff that's instinctive. And we're gonna be trying to figure stuff out.
Right.
So it's going to take time. That's not gonna be a walk in the park game. I'm letting you know.
No, I don't think it's gonna be easy peasy. I just don't want to lose.
I was shocked. I didn't know Indiana could have to turn on a switch and play good defense. I thought they were a terrible defensive team, but against us, they had some games and stretches where they played really good defensively.
Yeah, but we also didn't have we also lost like half of our offensive arsenal. So it's
fair. That's fair. Yeah, it's true.
Like when I still say when OG went down, that whole series changed.
Agreed.
Whole series changed. It wasn't doing all that stuff they was doing with OG in the line. It just wasn't. I'm sorry.
I agree because when he played those little 5 minutes, he had like 10 points. It looked different. The offense looked different.
He had a 28-point game right before he blew out his hamstring or whatever the hell he blew out.
Mm-hmm.
But that's all I got to say.
We're gonna figure it out.
We gonna figure it out though. We gonna figure it out.
We gonna be all. I said we gonna be all right.
Yeah, we gonna be all right. We gonna be all right. All right, y'all. That's the show. Thank you guys for watching. If you don't know, I'm gonna have the see. Look, it's my first game of the season too. Ebony, let them know where they can find you, Ebony.
Excuse me. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram at Knick Fan. You can find me every pregame on Twitter at Your Take Knicks pregame space, and you can find me here every postgame. So yeah, I think that's it. I think I covered it. See, the first game of the season too. That's
what's up. That's what's up. Lee, let them know they can find you.
At Twitter on at _ Lee Escobedo, LEEESCOBEDO. I try my best. We're on championship mode. I'm trying not to argue on Twitter as much as I used to. I've been on my best behavior. I've already made a promise. I'm never arguing with anyone on KOT about politics or anything ever again because I love these people too much. It's not worth it. But on Twitter, I'm also trying to be on my best behavior because I'm trying to enjoy this chip with everybody. But damn it, some of y'all are so annoying. You have the worst takes on Twitter, and I can't help myself. So look, everyone just be smarter. Speak smarter, think smarter, and we won't have an issue. But otherwise, I'm going to be on my best behavior. I promise. Stout's honor.
Word, what he said.
He's like, I won't have to kill you if you.
What he said? I had to.
Right?
Some of these takes, man.
I had to kill you. I didn't want to kill you. You made me.
I had to put a PSA out. PSA. Yeah, I said it right. I had to put it out today because I'm like, don't like me, hate me online and then like me in public. Just stay away. Period. Like keep it over there. Yeah, don't do all that. You don't gotta say hi. We good. Just go ahead.
Oh man, yeah. That's a fact. Oh yeah, two more things too. First of all, shout out to my brother. Shout out to my brother Ryan. Shout out to my brother.
We miss you, Ryan.
Yeah, we miss you, Ryan. Some people be like, "Where's Ryan? Where's Ryan?" Life is lifing like life has not life before. I'm gonna tell you right now.
Yeah.
Lee, thank you, Lee, for holding it down.
Mm-hmm. Always.
But life is freaking lifing, guys. It is overtime lifing. So we just trying to make it through the season with y'all. But my brother Ryan is handling his business, and he'll be back. He'll be back when he can. And so shout out to my guy Ryan G.
We love him.
And we be right here.
Yep, yes, sir. And also, I want to shout out to first of all, I'm joining. Shout out to Bare Minimum, first of all.
Yeah.
Shout out to Bare Minimum, Knicks.
Let's go.
Yeah, shout out to KOT is joining Bare Minimum, which is like another content creation type of hub. So look out for the collaborations with Bare Minimum and other content creators within that space as well. So we should start actually streaming on TikTok soon. So shout out to Bare Minimum, who's going to help us get that going. All right.
That's the other new addition too.
Oh yeah, I was going there.
I don't know. You know, it's the first game of the season. I'm just trying to make sure.
I definitely was going there.
Bounce pass right there.
Yeah. And also announcement. I was trying to get him on today, but he was just like, "Nah, Jay Ellis, I can't talk about this loss twice this week." Shout out to my guy Phil. Shout out to Phil, who's bringing their show Knicks Nightcap TKOT. So everybody, for guys who don't know, this people, we have some crossover YouTube people who were over there watching the people on like Morning Brew. Well, Phil is bringing his Knicks Nightcap show to KOT. So tune in for that. That'll be on KOT on Thursday nights. And Phil and those guys, they do a really good job talking Knicks, and really happy to have them over and have a home for them here on the KOT show. So I'm really excited to have that show on here. So you guys can have even more content to watch and great content too. So shout out to those guys. Shout out to Ebony for putting bugs in the ear and Lee too, because Lee was like, "Yo, this is one of those things where everybody's cool with one another, and it's like when crews are naturally cool with other crews, you can kind of like help each other out sometimes when stuff goes crazy. So shout out to those guys.
Yep.
Shout out to Phil. He quick note. He was my first guest appearance. My pod first pod I've ever been on.
Oh, word! I didn't know that.
Serious. Yeah. So Phil, shout out to Phil, definitely.
Shout out to Phil.
I think Ebony, you and I were on their show like right after each other.
Yeah,
if I remember correctly, it was like me and then you. That was like 2 years ago. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that was my first ever pod.
That's I always thought it was nothing but Knicks. I always thought.
Nah, I went to that was literally the very first one. That's the first time anybody's seen me anything. That was it.
Well, shout out to Nothing But Knicks one. Nothing But Knicks.
Yeah, shout out to
Sim and all those guys as well. The people over there too.
All right. They always support, definitely.
All right. All right, then. That is the show. Thank you guys for watching. And as always,
shout out the worldwide west. Everywhere we go, we leave a worldwide mess.
It's a mess out here in these Knicks YouTube streets. That's the first show. We're wrapping it up. See you next game. We out of here. Peace.